CISSP Objective 1.2: Understand and apply security concepts. Security concepts are the foundation of the CISSP exam in real-world cybersecurity practice. When protecting information and systems, security professionals are not only trying to stop attacks, but also to preserve trust, accuracy, resilience, and accountability. The core principles in this objective are commonly known as the 5 pillars of information security: confidentiality, integrity, availability, authenticity, and non-repudiation. Understanding how each pillar works by itself and how they work together is essential for risk management, security architecture, access control, incident response, and governance. Confidentiality. Confidentiality means preventing unauthorized disclosure of information. The goal is to make sure that only approved users, systems, or processes can view sensitive data. Examples include protecting personally identifiable information, PII, financial records, health records, intellectual property, and classified information. Common controls used to support confidentiality include encryption, access controls, least privilege, data classification, network segmentation, and data loss prevention, or DLP. A breach of confidentiality occurs when sensitive information is exposed to someone who should not have access to it, such as a stolen database or leaked email. Integrity. Integrity means maintaining the accuracy, completeness, and trustworthiness of data and systems. The goal is to ensure that information is not altered in an unauthorized or improper way. Integrity applies to both data at rest and data in transit. Common controls include hashing, checksums, digital signatures, file integrity monitoring, version control, and strict change management. A loss of integrity happens when data is modified accidentally or maliciously, such as changing payroll records, tampering with logs, or altering systems configurations without authorization. Availability. Availability means ensuring that systems, services, and data are accessible when needed by authorized users. The goal is to support reliable and timely access to information and technology resources. Availability is critical for business operations, especially for systems like healthcare platforms, banking services, manufacturing systems, and emergency response environments. Common controls include redundancy, fault tolerance, backups, disaster recovery, load balancing, high availability clustering, and DDoS protection. A failure in availability occurs when systems or data cannot be accessed, such as during a ransomware attack, server outage, denial of service attack, or hardware failure. Authenticity. Authenticity means verifying that a user, device, message, or data source is genuine. The goal is to confirm that something or someone is truly what it claims to be. Authenticity is closely tied to identity and access management, IAM, and trusted communications. Common controls include authentication mechanisms, multi-factor authentication, or MFA, digital certificates, public key infrastructure, PKI, tokens, and biometric verification. A practical example is verifying that a software update really came from the vendor and was not replaced by malicious code. Non-repudiation. Non-repudiation means providing proof that an action or event occurred so that a person cannot later deny it. The goal is to create accountability for actions such as sending a message, approving a transaction, or signing a document. Non-repudiation is especially important in legal, financial, contractual, and regulatory contexts. Common controls include digital signatures, audit logs, timestamps, transaction records, and cryptographic proof. A good example is an electronically signed contract where the signer cannot credibly deny having signed it. How do these 5 pillars work together? These 5 pillars are related and often support one another in layered security designs. For example, encryption supports confidentiality, but if paired with hashing and digital signatures, it can also support integrity, authenticity, and non-repudiation. A secure system must balance all 5 pillars because focusing on only one can create weaknesses in another area. For example, making data highly confidential but too difficult to access can negatively affect availability. CISSP questions often test your ability to identify which pillar is most directly affected in a given scenario. Exam focus for the CISSP. Know the precise definition of each pillar and be able to distinguish them from one another. Be prepared for scenario-based questions asking which security principle is being protected or violated. Remember that confidentiality is about secrecy. Integrity is about correctness. Availability is about access. Authenticity is about being genuine. And non-repudiation is about proof and accountability. Understand the technologies and administrative controls that support each principle. Think like a security professional. Identify the business need first, then determine which pillar is most important, and then which pillar is most important in that situation.